A lot of times we greet one another. We say, "What's up, King?" I'm sure you've been hearing that your whole life. A king in more ways than one. Marquette King, former NFL All-Pro punter, XFL champion. Congratulations, Marquette King. Chart-topping, I beg your pardon, artist, Marquette King. All around Renaissance man. Just Renaissance man. You got so much going on, man. It's good to finally get a chance to chop it up with you. It's been too long. I just want to start with this moment now, just where you are, what you got going on, and just where you are mentally, spiritually, emotionally at age 34.
Man, I feel like I'm in a really good place. It's interesting because the journey I've been through, especially with football, I mean, I was at a high point, and then I ended up hitting a really low point, and then it just got to a point in life to where it was like, man, you know what? You just gotta turn lemons into lemonade, and if you don't find it out, I would end up like a lot of people that I've seen in the past, where they just can't get out of the slump, and because ultimately nobody wants better than yourself. You know, like you can complain to as many people as you want about things not going right, but honestly, a lot of people do. Majority of people do get joy out of listening to people kind of struggle and things not going right. So you got to kick yourself in the butt and keep moving. But I'm in a really good place, man. Still learning. Everybody's still learning, and just trying to continue being the best version of myself I can be.
What are you still learning?
Man, just how to deal with people sometimes. Dealing with people, dealing with certain situations. Just handling business, especially in the music world. I've had people take advantage of me when it came to financial status, and it doesn't feel good. So, like, I don't know, I've learned some really expensive lessons, but I mean, I'm still in a good place. Just got to handle things a little different.
Yeah. I was just listening to some of your joints, man. Like, I like your sound. How would you describe it? How would you describe your sound as an artist?
Yeah, man, I don't. It's a mixture between pop, hip hop, and EDM. I'm a huge fan of those genres of music a lot. Listen to them a lot, but I think I bounce between that genre. Like when I was coming up with my style of music, I was like, you know what? It's cool to listen to hip hop for this amount of time. Then it's cool to listen to this amount of pop for this amount of time, and then this amount of EDM. Because if you listen to the same genre for a long time, it'll get boring. So I like kind of bouncing around a little bit. And yeah.
And I saw this would have been on August 14th, I believe it was. You performed, Charles Woodson had an event for his whiskey. And you performed for, like, what was that like, man? You guys, I knew you had stage presence because you are the most swagged out punter in NFL history. But what was that performance like? And what kind of performer would you describe Marquette King as?
Man, I feel like I'm just an entertainer. I'm a showman, man. I like to make people smile. I had a lot of fun getting a chance to see Seawood for a little while. Got to see Crabtree for a little bit. That was fun, man. And it's always good to see people that you played on the same team with just thrive and do other things besides just football, because we're bigger than just that one sport. And a lot of people don't realize that. But when you talk to them and see what else they got going on, especially with his whiskey and everything, that's super cool. He has his own bar in the stadium and everything. He gave me a test the day before and the next day. So it was some really good whiskey, though. But it was fun. I got a chance to see all the older Raider fans that I saw when I was playing there, and it felt like home.
I mean, life be life, but life is also good, man. I remember back in May, I think it was when I first reached back out to you, because it's been a while since we talked, and I saw your tweet where you won the XFL championship with the Arlington Renegades, and you had one of your songs reached the top 200 as an independent artist, and over 100 Shazams in 1 week. So, you know, and this was Sweet Tea, by the way, which I like that joint. So, you know, football's going well in the XFL. Your music career is going well. What did that mean for The Rock to shout you out on Twitter when you cited those two things?
That was tight. That was one of the coolest moments of all time. The fact that he took the time to listen to something that I've created out of art. that's a good feeling when you create something just like your shows and stuff. Like I've always been a fan, and it's cool to see you do your thing, do your own thing, what you got going on. Because when you see people that appreciate what you do and they take time to go check out something that you created, that's a good feeling. It's a way better feeling, I'll tell you this, than somebody approaching me telling me that you one of the best punters to ever play the game. That's cool, and I'm thankful for it. At the same time, that was created before I came here, you know? And to create a song and for somebody to say that they actually like it and they take time to listen to it, that you get a different kind of appreciation for it.
Because on your website, this line jumped out to me. It said, a different player in the entertainment game, Marquette King's long time spent on the football field introduced him to need of expression and release through songwriting, acting, and sound. I'm like, I need to unpack that. So how does your football career influence and contribute to your art?
Well, also, being a punter, you kind of like 15 yards away from everybody else, so you kind of on your own a little bit anyway. But being around the crowd made it a lot more easier. Playing in big stadiums with thousands of people in there, that helped out a lot. But I feel like to a certain extent, especially playing in the NFL, like I was able to express myself, but like it was almost like I kind of couldn't to a certain extent. I had to kind of act a certain type of way. And so I kind of started looking to music to just let the rest of that out, since I got to kind of, you know, just be a toy soldier.
What do you mean? Just
like, I don't know, like I've had coaches in the past kind of like, oh, you got to have composure and poise. I just kick the ball, do this, do that. And it's like, all right, cool, I'll do that. But then, I don't know, like go to the studio and start creating stuff and just, I don't know, just letting out how you feel, because I'm just a happy person. I like enjoying life and having fun. And once football started getting to a point where I felt like it was getting taken away from me. That's when I started turning more into music, and the music helped out with all that.
Because I saw, you know, I love following you on Instagram along with a million other people. Just to point that out. Back in March, you posted about your Renegades teammates, and you said your teammates are helping you find your happiness in the game. What'd you mean by that?
It's a lot of young people out there that were coming into the XFL, and it was cool because I feel like they're not thinking about the business and how the business of the game works. They're just in there, just pure passion and happiness just to be around the sport. And getting a chance to be around that and seeing people that are just genuinely happy to get another opportunity to play football was something that just helped me out a lot, as far as like, because I still have my days where I'm just kind of like up and down with football because it didn't work out on my terms. And I don't know, every once in a while I had those little periods, but then I have a young cat run up to me, "What's up, King?" Sometimes it'll be funny because they'll be like, "Man, I remember playing with you on a video game when I was in middle school." And I'm like, ugh, made me feel old. But no, it's cool to get compliments and stuff like that, and just to be around them. And like, even sometimes when some of the young cats have meltdowns on the sideline, I just walk up to them and just kind of give them words of encouragement, let them know like, hey, like, if you're trying to get to the next level, like I can lead you there a little bit. Like just kind of learn how to play the game, you know?
Yeah. And I saw a quote from you when you were with St. Louis. You talked about how the XFL experience had helped you, you know, find your love and passion for the game again. So that I've seen that theme come up a few times for you. And I really want to get into that, and especially this time of year, King, because it's like, you know, you've been out of the league since 2018, and we're gonna get into that whole process. But you know, this time of year, and when I talked to you this morning, you were working out, you know, and you're still working out, you still staying in shape, you still staying ready. And this time of year, being in training camp, I wonder what it feels like mentally and emotionally to not be in a camp and not be getting ready for the NFL season this time of year.
I mean, I've gotten to a place because the past couple of years, it's bothered me a lot before, where it's like, man, I know I'm better than a lot of these people that are playing in the league. I know I'll be in the top 10 easily. But then I started to realize, like, I don't know, the more I kept stressing out about it, like, it ain't like nothing was going to really change if I kept stressing out about it. So I was like, you know what, I just need to live life. And that's what I've been doing, is just living life to the max. But it's definitely, it can be aggravating. Like I said, like, anytime I don't watch any football at my house. I stay away from it. Unless it's on at the bar or at a restaurant. If I see it on TV, I'm gonna watch it a little bit just because that's what I've done. But I don't know, it can be aggravating. I have my days, I have my moments, not days, but my moments. Yeah. Because I know I'm way bigger. I know we're way bigger than just football, you know? So it's so many other things I'm doing that I'm enjoying. Talking to my family, friends, creating jewelry, creating music. Like, I got other stuff I can do that occupy me, but like, I'm really enjoying.
But you still got that relationship with the game, and that, like, do you still want to play in the NFL? And how do you balance, you know, finding joy in other things and not being consumed with football, but still wanting to play in the NFL? It's almost like, you know, your punter who's got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Is that fair, or is that an overstatement?
I mean, I don't really know, because kicking ain't hard. Like, it's one of those things where I already got the talent to do it, and I got the God-given talent to just, like I said in the interview with Ryan Clark and them, I basically said, like, no matter what, like, because even when I played this year, I still kind of felt emotionally detached from the game still. But, like, I don't care where I'm at in the mental state. Nobody will ever be able to outperform me in a game, ever. And it's just always been, like, I'm doing things that I know a lot of other people aren't doing when it comes to training and just trying to be the best me. And I just know who I am, comfortable with myself. Yeah. But I don't know, I just deal with it, man. It just is what it is. But kick is not that hard. Like, we go kick, we practice for like, what, 4 or 5 hours at the facility. I'm probably kicking like 10 punts, probably do a couple of laps around the field just to stay in shape, keep my body on point. And then I got the rest of the day to do whatever I want to do. So it's not much.
Have you had like a sniff? Has anybody reached out? Any kind of interest whatsoever? Since
I haven't had a sniff or nothing. And yes, I don't know. I don't get it still, and like, even if people try to bring up my past or stuff that I've done in the past, like I really did some stuff that endanger other people or whatnot. I mean, it's interesting because, like, I don't know. Like, I still be trying to understand it, but at the same time, I just try not to think about it that much because it can just be, it's aggravating. But I don't know. People grow up and people change, things change, and I don't know. Just
because I'm like, well, what'd you do? Like, I mean, like, first of all, there's been a handful of black punters in NFL history. I grew up watching Reggie Roby with the wristwatch. Okay, and but me and a lot of people love watching you celebrate and enjoy punting, and not just, and bring personality to punting. It's like, so how does a guy go from being second team All-Pro in 2016 to out of the league 2 years later and, no interest at age 34?
I don't know. We still trying to figure it out. People still trying to figure it out. But, like, the more I try to figure it out, the more stressed out I get about it because it's just beyond my control. And then I don't know. I see a lot of other punters get a lot of opportunities and stuff, and it just is what it is. I don't know what to say. Yeah. Like,
Is it? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, is it just the position? Because it's like, or is it being a black punter? Like, just call it what it is. Is it being a black punter? Because it's like, there's a guy, at my old place, making a lot of money, and who was quite famous for bringing personality to punting, and it's like, okay, so you have interest outside of football. in 2023, it just feels like the game and society has evolved so much
Yeah,
to where that, personality, that shouldn't be a knock on somebody.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, the game has definitely evolved. The way that people see things is definitely different. And I just don't know. I don't know what it is now. Like, I don't know if I got to know the right people to get back in or whatnot. Like, I don't know if I need a certain type of agent or whatnot. Like, nothing makes sense to me anymore about how it works, really.
Yeah.
You just got to wait for your turn. But, yeah.
I appreciate your transparency, man. And in full transparency to our audience, like, you know, you and I keep in touch. And we had a conversation on the phone where I told you, like, in my own way, like, I can relate, you know, because, and I've talked about this and I try not to talk about it because I don't like harping on it. And there are too many people who leave ESPN who then make a career out of talking about ESPN. And I didn't want to be one of those people. Like, I didn't want to be like a jilted lover type. Like, it's over. That chapter's over. I moved on. But people always ask me about it. And it didn't end well, or it didn't end the way I wanted it to. So when people would ask me about it, you know, it would be something of a trigger, or I would have to do things to avoid being triggered. So I appreciate just your willingness to open up and talk about it, because like you said, like you're trying to get to a place where you're not thinking about it, but that's how a lot of people know you as well. You know what I mean? Like, you made your mark in a short period of time, you know? So it's a tough balance, right?
Yeah. You can't run away from it. It's football's gonna always be a part of me. And I mean, that's how I got to the place where I got my spot now. That's how I'm able to do a lot of the things that I do now. So I'm definitely thankful for the opportunity. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and trash talk or just trash my whole situation like it wasn't worth anything. Like, I had a lot of fun doing it. But I'm not done. I still got a ways to go. Punters can play till they're 40. I don't want to play till I'm 40. I just want to get back in the league, and I just want to show that I just want to finish at the top. I want to finish at the top and just, I just let go of my own terms, because I'm not going to play till I'm 40. I got too much life to do besides just kick a ball till I'm 40 years old. I can do it for about 2-3 more years.
Yeah. No, I know I got to a place of peace that way, because I realized that no matter how it ended, everything that happened put me in a position to do everything that I'm doing now and I'm going to do in the future, you know, and you're a really talented artist in your own right, but that name and that brand that you built, no doubt is helping you within this next chapter. But I love to go back to the beginning, man. And like, you started out as a receiver in Macon, Georgia. How'd you end up punting?
I was just bored, man. Just picked up the rock and just started kicking after I ran my routes and stuff. So that's how it worked out. I just got good with it. Coaches asked me knew how to punt. I ended up swinging away, and I just kept hitting knuckleballs. And then they were like, hey, you got a strong leg. Maybe you can get better with it. Like, let me work with you. So Coach Pritchard, one of my coaches in high school, and Coach Rubin, they would spend time with me on the weekends and during the weekdays, and just help me with it.
And when did you realize that this could be a career for you? You went on to Fort Valley State. When did you say, wait a second, like, I might be able to go to the next level with this?
Maybe the year before I went to the next level. Because playing in the NFL, I don't know if that was a dream for me. I think it was, I just didn't want to have a normal job. So that was my goal, to not have a normal job. And if I could get a job just kicking, because somebody was like, man, you can just get paid a lot of money to kick a ball. And I'm like, man, shut up. Like, stop talking trash. And it actually happened.
That's an interesting, like, mindset. You didn't want to have a normal job. Why didn't you want a regular 9-to-5?
Because I'm not normal. I don't feel like I don't want to be in a cubicle or behind a desk or behind a computer the whole time. Like, I don't know. That's not living to me. And I like to live.
You took the red pill a long time ago, I feel like.
A long time ago. I think I took it when I saw the movie. I think I reached and grabbed it myself.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, like, everything I've ever known about you is you just weren't going to be confined to a box, which is something that I appreciated about you. So, like, when did you become this punter with personality? When did that start?
I've always been that since college. You can go back and ask anybody that I played college football with. I've always had that same personality. I think when I got to the Raiders that first year, you know, you got to kind of got to play a role to a certain extent. Like I can't 100% just full throttle be myself. So I kind of had to like just conform a little bit, be a little more quiet, and just learn as much as I could. Because at the time, Shane Leckler was there. He was considered the best punter at the time. So I wanted to learn as much as I could from him and not get on nobody's nerves. So.
How would you, looking back, how would you describe that 5-year run for you? I mentioned second team All-Pro in 16, but, you know, 13 through 17 in Oakland. Like, how would you describe that experience?
That was probably one of another fun point in my life. It was so fun. I felt so light physically, and I felt so happy to the point to where sometimes it almost felt like I was wrong for feeling. I felt like it was wrong to be that happy and that not stressed. Like I just felt free. Like I could wake up, all I had to do was put work in, grind, and just be the best version of myself. Do that, come out there and go to practice, show out, be the best version of yourself in practice, go to the game. My bad games I felt like were just as good as my good games. Because I put the work in to where I knew, like, even if I did have a bad game, I couldn't slack because I put so much work in. There's no way I could mess up. And then, I don't know, everything just felt perfect. I was just in my flow. And then everything just came to a screeching halt. And then I was just like, I didn't want to play football no more for that year. I should have sat out. But everything was perfect until then.
March 30th, 2018. What do you remember about that day?
I actually thought Reggie McKenzie was joking when he said he was gonna let me go. I heard ears from different people. I don't like to put names out, but I just heard from different people like, I don't know what you did, but like this guy just doesn't like you, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the hell I ever do to him? Like, I ain't never met the guy. I probably met him one time. And I think I met him.
You talking about Jon Gruden?
Yeah, I think I met him. I think when we played the Texans in that playoff game, it was the day before we played that playoff game because I think Derek Carr had to do an interview at the time. But I don't know. But I don't know. After that, I didn't believe he was serious about it. And I'm going through the locker room like, hey, y'all, I enjoyed playing on the same team with y'all, man. I'm finna get let go. To the point where even everybody else was like, stop playing. Like, bro, be quiet. He joked too much. And then I didn't believe it until I was sitting at the house and I saw my name scroll across the bottom of that ESPN marquee sign. I was like, oh, damn, this really happened. Like, I really got let go. And then I was just like, I don't know, I was still kind of like in that place mentally where I was just up so high. And then I just slowly started going down, like just, I don't know, slowly started going downhill mentally because it was just, I was just trying to understand everything because I thought I was going to be on the Raiders for my whole career because I had a mindset where there's no way nobody can outperform me in the punting game. Like I'm gonna be the best version of me in this punting game until I just quit. And I don't know, all those plans just got threw out the window.
What explanation did you get? What did Reggie McKenzie tell you? So you never met Jon Gruden. What did Reggie McKenzie tell you about why they were letting you go?
Yeah, one day. I don't know. That's another topic. One day.
One day?
One day.
Saving that for the book?
I don't even like reading books. Maybe if it's a big ass book where I can put pictures in it and then put it there, maybe.
All right. Well, I would say what did you tell yourself in terms of why it ended that way, or what conclusions have you drawn about why it had to end that way?
I don't know. Some people like you, some people don't, and I had to realize that even people that you've never done anything to will. Some people, if you live a life a certain way that people aren't used to living, and people aren't happy with what they got going on, if they see you having too much fun or whatnot, or doing this or doing that, and they, I don't know, people can create some sort of hatred towards you, I feel like. And I feel like that's, I don't know, I'll just being myself, unapologetically. And that's just what it was. But he obviously didn't like me. I don't know what it was about.
Yeah.
I never met him before, like, to sit down and talk to him, because I guarantee you, if he would have met me and sat in the same room with me, he would have loved me to death. So I don't know.
This is an anti-unapologetic question.
Mm-hmm.
But again, just seeing a lot of my experience in yours and drawing some similarities. I hope that's not unfair to do. I know I often would think like, well, could I have done something different? Should I have any regrets? Was it something I did or said or didn't realize? Like, when you look back, is there anything do you think you could have, would have, or should have done differently? Would you change anything about how you conducted yourself?
I wouldn't change.
Put that on a T-shirt, dog.
I'm not gonna change nothing. I ain't gonna change nothing, man. I'm myself. I love who I am. I'm proud of who I am. And even when I went through that little period where I wasn't playing and I was kind of depressed for a while, like, once I got out of that little slump of depression, I was like, bro, I really love who I am. I love what I've created in my life so far, and I got a lot more bigger things to do. But I don't regret nothing I did. I had so much fun, and I'm just me.
When were you depressed? Like now you landed with Denver after the Raiders let you go.
It was over then. It was once I got let go from the Raiders. When I got brought into the Broncos, who was it? Vance Joseph at the time. They wanted me to come over there, and I talked to him, talked to Elway, and everything sounded good. They wanted me to come over there and do the same thing that I did with Oakland. And once I started going to practice and stuff, Tom McMahon started changing my whole kicking mechanics, and it was just something I've never done in my career. And I'm like, God, like, I don't know. They kept trying to convince me to continue doing that style of kicking. And I don't know, the more I kept doing it, I wasn't producing like I normally did when I was with the Raiders, because I was doing something that wasn't natural. Mm-hmm. And it would be, I would get really embarrassed when teammates would be like, God dang, like, you good, man? Because I'm like, I know they know who I am. Like, come on now. So, like, I don't know, the more I would kick and the more I would see them disappointed, I'm like, man, screw this. I don't want to play football. Like, I should have just left. I should have just left and just sat out for a year, because I was just so messed up. Like, the whole Raider situation had me messed up mentally, and I was just messed up because it hurt. My feelings were hurt. But once I got hurt, that was probably one of the other happiest days of my life, when I got hurt in that Kansas City Chiefs game, the 4th game with the Broncos. I was like, the only thought that I could think about was, I'm finna go to the beach, going to Manhattan Beach, just hang out there for a week, 2 weeks, and just get away from all this. So, yeah.
That's illuminating, man, because like in Denver, you had I guess you call it the little run-in with the local media, the dust up with the media or whatever. And like you said, like all that, it feels like all of that was just a part of just the place where you were at that time. Is that?
I mean, that was really unnecessary. The dude I ain't even trying to get in, because what do I look like trying to get into it with somebody like that? Like, yeah. I mean, I'm a professional athlete, little reporter talking. He was so disrespectful.
Was he? Gotcha.
It was I heard some interview where he was just really disrespectful, and I was just asking, like, what did I ever do to you? Like, do we got an issue? And he was like, nah, all right, cool. Well, just keep my name out your mouth. Like, I ain't never did nothing to you, but like, just don't talk about it. And then it just looked worse, especially it was I got in the middle. He was like, all right, you said what you said. And I'm like, bro, why did you stand in front of me? Like, we were already like 10 yards away from each other talking. But I'm like, why did you stand right in front of me like that? Like, and I knew somebody probably snipped the picture, and now it looks like I'm really going after somebody.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. All that stuff just added up, and it was so stupid. But
And that was my point. Like, there's just so much more to the story. Like, even that situation, but just like your kicking mechanics being changed, where you were mentally and emotionally, it's like people just don't know what's going on, you know. But we just see like the results or what have you. So, like, how long did this depression last? After you got hurt and your season was done with Denver and you hit the beach, how long did that depression last?
Man, it was, I don't know, lasted for a while. I think it started hitting me like right when I got let go from the Raiders, because I wanted to be there for my whole career. And, but I was just in a place where I didn't understand the business. So, I mean, maybe it kind of handicapped me a little bit mentally of trying to think outside the box when it comes to business with the game, because that's the first team I started out with, and I was there for a long time. But that lasted, man. From 2018, I ended up going to the XFL with the Battlehawks in 2020. I was still kind of there, but kind of out of it. And Coach Hayes, the head coach at the time, he's the offensive coordinator for us with the Renegades. But that dude, he's one of my favorite humans, one of my favorite coaches of all time. Really good guy. And he was just staying on my back because he could tell that I was still aggravated with my whole situation with football. And I was just approaching it with this screwed up mindset, still like whatever, but I was still doing it because I could do it. And we had a long talk when the COVID thing happened. We had a long talk. We got to connect. And I was like, man, I'm actually really thankful I got a chance to play for you, because you helped me start seeing light in this football world again. Because I didn't see light. Like I was just so messed up mentally from it.
What was the turning point for you?
What was the turning point? I think at the playing in 2020 XFL, meeting Coach Hayes, he helped me out with a lot of that, giving me another opportunity to play football. And Trey Brown, he was part of that crew too. Then my cousin, like I think 2020 was when everything started turning back for me. Like everything started getting good with me, and just being able to vent to my cousin every once in a while about how I really feel. Vent, get off my chest, go live life, and then sometimes that feeling to come back, I'll call my cousin again. Man, it's BS, dog. It's so BS. Like, you know how it is. Like,
yeah, man.
I just kept forward from it. So, but it just got to a point where I just caught a high wave and just kept selling that thing.
Yeah. How did you? What'd you think when Jon Gruden's emails came out?
I mean. I don't know. I wasn't shocked, but at the same time, we all got our own journeys in life where we learn things and go through things. And that's why you can't really, I kind of got to a point where I realized you can't really talk too much trash about somebody else's situation, because, I mean, things come around, things happen, people go through stuff. And you just got to focus on your journey, because if you start thinking about what everybody else got going on, you're going to drive yourself crazy. But at the same time, it was wild when I heard about it. But I'm not surprised.
Did a lot of things make sense?
I felt like they did. Yeah. I mean, but it is, like I said, it is what it is. Like, people going to hate you. You can do all the things right in the world. People still going to. But I feel like a lot of that's from insecurity from within themselves, you know?
What is it? You were the only black punter in the NFL during your day, right?
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned, you're one of a handful throughout NFL history. Like, how would you describe the experience of being a black specialist, but a black punter in particular in the NFL?
I mean, it felt good, man. I was a little nervous about it coming out of college, going into that, because I knew I would be, and I knew there's not a lot of black punters out there. But I also had a lot of Greg Coleman was a huge mentor for me. He was the first black punter in the history of the game. And by the way, they keep talking about giving all these other punters and kickers Hall of Fame jackets. They need to give him one, because he had to put up with a lot of BS when he was playing. especially to get this for me to be in the situation I'm in. So
imagine what he did. Yeah, what he had to deal with. Yeah,
it had to be 10 times worse. And yeah, man, I had him stay in my ear. If he felt like I was doing something I wasn't supposed to do, or if he felt like I was doing something I needed to change up a little bit, I take it to the head, and I just correct whatever I need to correct. But I felt good about it, man. Coming from an HBCU, coming out with the sauce that I had, like I was just authentically me, man. And it felt good. It felt good.
And it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch. Like, why do you think black punters are still so rare?
Man, because a lot of coaches see, I feel like a lot of African-American athletes is just athletes. Like, they should play a position. They should be running backs, receivers, cornerbacks, safeties. Like, but you also don't catch a lot of them doing that because it's just not normal. But I'm starting to see a lot more different kickers of different ethnicities now. Like, I'm starting to see it now more than I've ever seen it before. So they're definitely coming out. They're definitely coming out. Seen some good kickers too, but they just need an opportunity. Like I said, I don't know if you got to know the right people or whatnot. Like,
right.
I don't. A lot of them come up to me. They're like, "Man, I'm trying to get to the NFL like you. Like, what do I got to do?" I'm like, "Cause I don't know." Like, and I'm still one of the best.
What would you say? You don't know? You still what?
I don't know, and I'm still one of the best to do it.
I'm saying, isn't your average still top 5?
I don't know where it's at now because I don't know. It's probably in the top. It's probably
there.
Still in the top. It's up there. It's up there. Punters are getting better. Everybody gets better and better. That's why, like, when they always had this Kobe and LeBron debate, it'd be so funny because, like, the game is way different now than it was then. Like, it's a way different game.
Okay. Kobe, LeBron. Since you brought it up.
Man, I don't know. It's hard to compare. Like, what are we talking about the rules from back in the 90s and stuff? Or are we talking about now?
Just your preference. Like, I honestly, I think it's I was sidebar for a second, a little side note tangent. At a certain point, I said LeBron and Michael Jordan to me is Prince and Stevie Wonder. There's like ain't no wrong answer. It's just like who you prefer. Yeah. I happen to be a Jordan guy. I happen to be a Prince guy. So, you know what I mean? But that don't mean I don't love Stevie. You know what I mean? I mean I don't love LeBron or Kobe for that matter, you know?
Who plays – all right, so this is the question. Who plays better defense between LeBron and Jordan?
Jordan.
Jordan plays better D? Because the only thing I remember about Jordan is Space Jam, so, like, come on now. I've seen a couple of
That's
games.
right. I do have a decade on you. I know Jordan was the best defender in the league, or I mean, well, somebody say he might not have been the best defender on his own team. Might have been Scottie Pippen, but Jordan was Defensive Player of the Year. You know what I mean? A lot of LeBron is not a great and versatile defender, but Jordan was like leading the league in steals and Defensive Player of the Year. He won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year the same season, I want to say. Like him, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kawhi. No, I don't know if Kawhi Leonard did it because he's never been MVP. But point is, like, he's in rare air when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. So yeah. Did I tell you I was a Jordan guy? I think I might have said that. I've had this conversation a few times. But you call yourself a unicorn. What does that mean?
Yeah. A unicorn is just rare, very rare to find. They're magical creatures that a lot of people don't get a chance to see. And I feel like I'm that person. I have that personality. And I feel like I'm unique. I've done a lot of cool things in my life, and I'm going to continue to do it. And I'm not going to say that I'm the only one. There's a couple of amazing people that I've met that I consider unicorns. You know what I'm saying? Like, and unicorns to me are like people that aren't scared to be themselves in a society where you kind of get frowned upon for doing different. And I got a couple of people that I consider unicorns that are just different and awesome people. Got my friend Phyllis, and one of the people I met, shout out to her. She's super cool, Jen Welter.
Oh yeah.
She was a coach with the Vegas team in XFL this year, but she's one of the coolest humans I've ever met, and I consider her a unicorn too. she does some cool things. She makes an impact in the world by being authentically herself. And yeah.
By the way, you are tied for 7th all time in yards per punt, I'm told. So right up there. And what was your jersey? What was your jersey number?
In the NFL? 7, but I'm gonna get 0. I'm gonna get 0 if I come back. Gotta get 0. Yeah.
Yeah. 7th all time, 7, kind of fitting. But you get, why 0? 0 is your XFL number. Why 0?
0 just because, like, I don't know. It would be a fresh start. If I could get 0, I would get 0. I feel like 7. I already did what I had to do with 7. That's a different. It's a new chapter now.
I like it. You said that the obstacles, everything that you went through along the way, that it tore you apart. How did you put yourself back together?
It took days and days. I would talk to my cousin, Greg. I would talk to him so many times throughout the day. I think I called him probably like 4 or 5 times out the day. And I'll just rant. Sometimes we'll just sit on the phone for hours and just, we ain't even got to say nothing. We just on the phone, just looking through social media and just start talking. But, man, just chatting with him, venting. And sometimes I do random things like go get a nice bottle of wine, hike up the little mountains over here, and just chill, listen to music, and even get into music more.
Yeah.
And, yeah, like that's where I was at with it. But that's how I got over it, just venting and just doing things to love myself a little bit more, you know? Go on like solo dates, chill by myself and just go people watch. So little stuff like that.
Hey man, 1 or 2 shots, sweet tea. I'm like, okay. Like, I mean, I was like, you got it. Like, you got it, man. Like, I mean, it's like, not to blow smoke and not to be patronizing and like that, but it's just like, yo, like, it's like, you know, some dudes be like, oh yeah, I do music. And it's like, okay, that's cool. But like, no, like you do music. Like, it's like you know, so like, what's the reception been? Like, what kind of feedback have you gotten? Like where are you in your journey as an artist right now?
I'm in a really good place. I just teamed up with some awesome people. So I got the Sweet Tea music video dropping on the 30th. I'm in a really good place with that. I'm performing. I'm doing more shows now. I'm getting set up to do more shows. I've even got 7-Eleven even reached out to potentially do some cool stuff together in the future. But I'm having so much fun with that. And like I said, the best feeling when a fan comes up to me, especially at the while playing in the XFL, they run up to me and they be like, hey, I listened to your song, so-and-so, or Country California Girl, so-and-so. And I'm like, that's tight. I'm finally, because I've always wanted to be seen as an artist as well, you know? And
yeah,
I mean, it's in a really good place right now. So I'm excited about that.
Did, has that type of, let's call it success, has it, even though the door is open for you for the NFL, have you found closure, if that makes sense?
As much as I attempt to not think about it, I think I'm in a place where it is what it is. But honestly, I want somebody in the NFL to like just straight up tell me, like, because I hate how some teams or coaches they'll make it seem like you still got a chance to do something. And I feel like a lot of former NFL players that retire, I wish the teams would be more straight up and honest with them. Like, no, you can't do nothing for me at this time. Like, we don't have a spot for you, or just let me know the real reason why I'm not getting another opportunity. Because you can't base it off of something I did in the past, like, especially like just harmless fun, dance, whatever it is. Even, I don't know, some of the random articles about being an issue in the locker room, like, I mean, where did this proof come from? So, like, it's just, I don't know, it's just weird. So,
you feel like you're still misunderstood?
I feel like I'm misunderstood, but I'm misunderstood from people that don't take the time to get to know who I am as a person. Those are the ones that, and those are kind of some of the people that have an impact on how other people see people, because sometimes they can be reporters or they can be journalists or writers, and they put these things out to make somebody look bad when that's not really who that person is. So I feel like that doesn't help.
Do you follow, like, so you mentioned like you'll watch it if it's on in a bar or somewhere or in a restaurant, you know, but like, do you keep track of some of just like the business of the game stuff? Like I'm thinking even particularly because, you know, your old team, obviously the Raiders, you know, their star running back hasn't been taken care of long term. There's a lot of stuff with running backs nowadays. You know, just the business of the league in general. I just wonder if you know, this time away, you look at it and from the outside looking in, and you got a different kind of clarity.
Yeah, I mean, I got some mutual friends that know Jacobs and stuff, so they keep me updated with that. But also, I feel like the algorithms on social media know who I am and just won't let me unsee football, so it always pops up on my feed anyway.
Oh yeah.
It's a little wild to me because I feel like running backs do set the tone. If your quarterback ain't doing good and you need somebody to pick up for the quarterback until he can find his way back and start making completions, you need a running back. You need a good running back to make something happen. And I mean, they need to go ahead and pay that man because he's actually pretty good. I've seen some highlights. I've seen some clips of him play. Like, he's really good at what he does. And I mean, but at the end of the day, like I said, you got to focus on being the best version of yourself, man. Like, because he can't control what's going on. He can't control how they see him and everything. The only thing he can do is just be the best him. So keep grinding, keep working out, keep practicing, and just stay on point until they pay you what you're worth. Because it's a small window.
Yeah. You're pretty good at a lot of things, King. And you're kind of an embodiment of, like, the best advice I ever got. It was specific to television, but I think it's applicable in life. Single best piece of advice I ever got in terms of being on camera was just get better at being yourself. Just get better at being yourself. And that's life. Just be the best version of you, get better at being yourself. And it feels like that's the journey you're still on. It's just continue to be the best version of yourself, man. And I wish you well on that journey, brother. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
I appreciate you. You too.
Hey, thanks so much for kicking it with your main man, Michael Smith. Be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, but also subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Rate it, review it, tell your friends about it. Oh, and be sure to follow me on social media.